As cars get older, certain parts might start to become more challenging to source as less and less companies are going to be manufacturing the either OEM replacement part or a modified aftermarket part. The C5 Corvette and just Corvettes in general are no different. The C5 Corvette in particular that I'll be talking about, obviously because this is the car that I own, all those cars are now over 20 years old. They're pretty much at 20 years old depending on the model year you have. And certain parts within this car are definitely more challenging to source than others. But some of these parts that are more challenging to source or install and are as a result are more expensive because less companies are making these items, so the supply is less but the demand is still relatively high. Some of these items can negate needing to be replaced with some simple maintenance. So that's what I wanted to talk about in this video today, is just some really simple maintenance you can do for one of these more challenging to source items that can possibly save you hundreds or thousands of dollars in replacement parts for these cars. So the part I'm talking about in particular is a relatively simple part in nature, but overall it has still a really important function with the car, especially if you have a C5 Corvette coupe with the removable targa top. And the part that I'm talking about are all of the weather stripping and seals near the door and roof and rear hatch areas. It's not just unique to this car, but really all cars. The weather stripping is a common item that is often overlooked and really neglected. People don't think to upkeep and maintain these items as cars get older, but it's actually really important, especially if you live in a hot and dry climate like the Southern California or just Southwest United States area. If you live in a hot and dry climate, this rubber, and really just over time, no matter where you are, rubber is going to want to dry out, kind of get a dry rot, start to crack, and it's not going to have the same sealing effect that it did when the rubber was fresh and new. So obviously, the sealing effect for this weather seal part is really important because it keeps things from the outside, like water, from coming inside the car. Water inside your Corvette is never a good situation. So there's some really simple maintenance you can do to try and avoid getting to the point of having to need to actually fully replace all of these weather seals. One, the weather seals are not a fun thing to replace. It requires a lot of kind of, fine tuning and just kind of massaging to get things to sit correctly with the replacement parts that you have to buy. And it's also a pretty expensive item. I don't have the exact cost numbers off the top of my head, but I'll post them up on the screen here of how much it would be to replace all or at least some of these weather seals with the car. And again, it's really important with the targa top car because you have even more sealing area with the removable roof panel. So in this video, I'm going to quickly showcase the process and some of the products that I started using to really slow down the rate of degradation of these weather seals, especially because I do live in a relatively hot climate in Southern California. If your car is garage, that definitely helps because, it's less UV exposure and, overall outside environmental exposure, but still really important to try and upkeep and maintain this. All right, so the first thing you're going to want to do is evaluate the current condition of a lot of your weather seals. If you already see a lot of dry rotting or cracking, likely this maintenance is not going to be all that helpful because the dry rotting and cracking are going to be the points of entry for a lot of water into the car. So unfortunately, if that's the case, you more likely than not are going to have to just fully replace the seals. But overall, if the weather stripping still looks like it's in good condition, thankfully mine appears to be that way, then you can possibly take advantage of this preventative maintenance for these seals. So the first thing we're going to do, really the thing that you should do before any of this, is just wash the car and clean it. Get as much of the dirt and grime off as you can by just doing a simple wash. So I already did that. I'm not going to make you guys watch that. The next step is we're going to take our spray bottle over here and mix up some soapy water with just some simple water and car washing soap, and we're going to go ahead and spray down and kind of wipe down and clean all of the weather seal areas in a more particular fashion. So I got my clean microfiber towel, so this will kind of show you guys how much dirt is gonna come off all of these weather seals. So I'm likely just gonna spray the towel with soapy water instead of spraying onto the car, and that way you don't get too much soapy water on all the seals and you don't risk getting soapy water all over the inside of your car. Already see not too bad. I think I already had prior cleaned these when I washed the car, but still definitely getting some dirt and grime off on the seals. So on some parts of the seals you can kind of peel back certain kind of folds, and that'll allow you to get in some of the nooks and crannies where a lot of dust and dirt will build up from just years of driving the car and being outside, and that's where you'll really see a lot of the dirt probably come out. And obviously the main kind of contact areas between the seals, between the different parts within the car. So you can already see how much dirt is coming off these seals, even though I had already pre-washed the car in a lot of these places before. So here's kind of a quick look at the cleaned seals that I just wiped down with the soapy water. Didn't use any special soap, just used basic car washing soap. You know, I would advise not using dish soap because dish soap will remove grease, and I don't think you want to pull, you know, lubricant out of the seals with like dish soap like that are designed to remove grease. But you know, types of soap that are designed to actually put on cars and not remove wax and coatings and things like that, that's probably the stuff you're going to want to use. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the kind of core product to the point of this whole video. Okay, so just to preface before I show you guys this product, I did do a lot of research on different things to use for lubricating and protecting your weather seals. There's a lot of recommendations out there for like home remedy solutions like lanolin and things like that, but there are some, you know, possible side effects or negatives of using that. So I just went with the kind of proven product that most people recommended, and I even used ChatGPT to kind of look up this as well. So the product I'm going to be using is this stuff called Gummy Fledge Stift. Now it's made by a German company called NextZet, but this is the stuff that was frequently recommended across many different forums, beyond just Corvette forums, you know, general car forums as well, and a lot of different websites as well. This is a product that is designed to lubricate rubber weather seals for automotive applications. It comes in this little bottle here with a kind of foam style applicator that you'll use to kind of like shake up. It's kind of like one of those like kids paint brushes that have the foam tips where you kind of squeeze the paint out. It's kind of the setup with it. So you get the lubricant to come out this way, and then you just literally wipe it on to the different weather seals, you know, in a, I don't want to say too generous amount. You don't want it to be dripping and running everywhere, but just enough to get it all lubricated in all the different nooks and crannies. So I'm going to go ahead and use this and apply it to this area of the seal, and then repeat the rest for the rest of the car. So the applicator has this little plunger kind of red area here, so you press on it and that's what allows the liquid to penetrate into the sponge and then start to fill up the sponge. Definitely comes out pretty quick, so you don't need to push very hard. You can kind of push a lot initially to get it started, and then you can kind of just generously kind of spread and apply it across the entire seal surface that you're working on. And like I said before, you can kind of peel back some of the kind of folds here to get in all the nooks and crannies to make sure you are adequately lubricating all of your seals. Lubrication in general is good, especially for cars. So now you can already see on some of the seals here, I'm getting a little bit of dry rotting, but you know, I think that's generally to be expected for a, you know, what is it? This car is 24 years old now, 25 if you count that it was built in the year 2000, even as a 2001 model year. So yeah, that's pretty much, you know, this is not a difficult maintenance thing, but the reason why I'm making this video is to simply just bring awareness for it. You can see how much grime came off as I'm doing that here. A lot of people just aren't aware that this is something that you really should do with a car, especially a car that's getting older and might see, you know, start to see kind of aging rubber parts throughout the car. It's really simple to do. I think this bottle of this stuff was like 12 bucks on Amazon, so really not expensive at all, super easy to do, a nice kind of easy preventative thing to do just in your garage. One night you got some time to do it. It's really just your time and the 12 bucks that you got to spend to buy the product. So highly recommend this. You know, so generously apply it across all of the seals that you're lubricating, and then if you have a lot of excess, just take a microfiber and kind of just dab it. You don't want to wipe it all the way off, but it seems like this stuff, you know, starts to evaporate relatively quickly. So yeah, I wanted to keep this video pretty short and sweet. Nothing too crazy, nothing complicated about this, but just simply bringing awareness for this really simple thing that you should do. Oh, and probably should do it on the door here as well. But the most important area is the roof area, because that's where all the water, and the window area, that's where all the water is going to come in on these cars, because you don't want water coming in to your precious C5 Corvette interior. So here's just a quick shot after I took the targa top off on the car, and to show you how important it is to probably do these upper seal areas. I mean, you can see how dirty it is up in these areas here, and these are the ones that are probably the most important to make sure stay sealed, in addition to all the ones, you know, on the side of the removable targa top, because that's what mates up to the window, and then the kind of angel hoop area here and the windshield area here. So now I'm going in and doing the soapy water cleaning method, and then applying the lubricant across all these surfaces as well. So just to give you guys an idea, this is all of the dirt and grime that came off of just when cleaning the front windshield seal area where it seals up to the top roof panel. So probably doesn't help with sealing either once you have all of this dirt and grime on there. Now, a lot of my recent videos have really just stuck to being behind the camera to just jump right into the meat and potatoes of the video content. I know you guys are really not mostly interested in looking at my face and hearing sounds come out of my mouth. You'd rather hear sounds come out of my mouth while looking at something interesting. So I've been trying to put more of a focus on being behind the camera and just jumping right into the content. But yeah, so making a video for you guys. Took a little time off just for some summer plans, summer travel, but getting back into the swing of things with different videos. So if you guys haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more Corvette content, and I also do a bunch of 3D printing content where I make 3D printed parts for many different things, but in particular for the C5 Corvette. So it's kind of a cool little side gig that I've got going on, and hobby as well. So thanks all so much for watching. Appreciate you for watching to support the channel. Other than that, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.